Once the buzzer sounded, some players looked down on the ground. Others placed their hands on their heads. The LA Clippers just suffered a 105-101 play-in loss to the New Orleans Pelicans on Friday, which officially ended their 2021-22 campaign and captured their season-long tournaments. The day began with the Clippers leading Paul George released the game after their day nursing frustration with the season cut short once again. This one is tough, guard Reggie Jackson said as he stared at the ground. It's a tough loss to take. And why wouldn't it be? The Clippers will miss the NBA
Been a long time without you.
season after making the Western Conference.
Been a long time without love.
LA
Everything reminds me of you.
16-point deficit.
But everything is not enough.
And after showing all season,
Really hard by the ocean.
Clippers eventually ran out of energy.
None of those white hats.
Hold on to the Sydney Pelicans team.
Every sunrise is just for you.
Themselves, barely
So
seeing
come along and take my
as Jackson observed, it's quiet in there. Friday's episode provided a glimpse into what made the Clippers season really special and disappointing. Luke woke up late Friday night to a lot of unanswered phone calls and text messages from the front office as they warned him that his star forward tested positive for COVID-19. Assists and 2.5 steals. And now George wouldn't have the chance to salvage the Clippers season. Not surprising then that Lou described George both as disappointed and down. Shortly after learning about George's unfortunate news, Lou delivered an inspiring message. "We've got to win this game for you," Lou told George, "and get ready for the next series." The Clippers became used to this unfortunate reality during the regular season. Because of those circumstances, Lou considered the season having these guys ready to play, that's my job. Following the morning shoot-around, George missed a combined 51 games with various ailments, including 43 to treat a torn ligament in his right elbow. And the Clippers nursed 29 different starting lineups because of numerous ailments. That might lead one to wonder if the Clippers will nurse health concerns just as they've done with Leonard and George since they joined the team for the 2019-20 season. Perhaps. But consider that the Clippers fully anticipated Leonard missing the entirety of the season since it typically takes a player 12 to 18 months to recover from an ACL injury. Or consider that George has fully recovered from shoulder injuries that plagued him 3 years ago as well as the right elbow that sidelined him for half of this season. The sky's the limit when you get those two, Jackson said. It's going to be about hopefully getting them healthy, meshing, and everybody, like I said, improving individually, then us coming together as a collective to figure out how we can be better as a team, hit the ground running next year. The Clippers can hit the ground running, especially because of how they forged their identity to make the best of their circumstances all season long. They leaned on both established veterans, Morris, Nicholas Batum, Jackson, and young players, Mann, Luke Kennard, Amir Coffey, Ivica Zubac, who all offered positional versatility, dependable outside shooting and a resilient attitude. Nonetheless, the Clippers never became content with just settling on their role players. Before the trade deadline, the Clippers acquired Norman Powell and Robert Covington from the Portland Trail Blazers for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and Keon Johnson along with a 2025 second-round pick from the Detroit Pistons in hopes to collect as much talent and assets as possible. Powell wound up playing only 7 games after missing a combined 22 games with a fractured left foot. Now with Powell completing the first of his 5-year, $90 million deal, the Clippers have both the security in developing the 6th-year guard entering his prime and an additional asset in future deals. With Norm being able to get us up on track, learning the plays, our system, what we're trying to do, Lou said, we can be special. Covington became part of the Clippers' valued small ball lineups, including the unit that became instrumental in the team's dominant third-quarter run, 38-18, on Friday night. Covington will become a free agent this summer, and the Clippers can spend over the cap to keep him because of the Bird exception. Covington hardly hesitated on whether he would like to stay with the Clippers long-term. Of course. It's been a smooth transition, Covington said. I would love to retire here. Batum appeared less forthcoming about his $3.3 million player option. Although he laughed off the question, the veteran guard forward later tipped his hand when marveling at the team's resiliency. I love it here, Batum said. With that coach and those guys? It's tough today, but it's going to be fun next year. Even in a results-oriented business, the Clippers felt at peace because they exhausted all of their resources. They also remained aware that more help will arrive in a few months. We're building the right culture and going in the right direction, Lou said. Our next step is we just got to stay healthy.